Look, I'm just going to keep saying it because it seems to be working. This team's not making the playoffs.
Sucker bleu. I don't want to overreact. What was that? This is going to be a good year. Not too shabby. The best game ever.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Hawks Recap. Game 54 has just concluded for the Hawks as they win. That's right, they beat the Oilers by a score of 6-2 in Edmonton for their fifth straight win. A far cry from the 8-game losing streaks of yesteryear. I do gotta apologize though first before getting into this. I am feeling under the weather, so this is gonna be a shorter video, a shorter recap. I need to go chug some NyQuil and just pass out basically. But before I do that, let's talk about this game. Now, the Blackhawks played a great game overall in this one. Obviously, the scoreline kind of supports that argument. They win by 4 goals, and whenever you do that, well, I mean, you had to have played pretty well. But despite the good play, the Blackhawks found themselves trailing going into the third period. But the Hawks start off fast in this one with a power play goal early on in the first period. Gusterson getting the goal with a shot from the point, redirects off an Oiler player in front, gets by Talbot into the back of the net. That's 3 goals in his last 2 games. Quite decent for a defenseman, if I do say so myself. Now, like I said, I think there's going to be a lot of interest from other teams regarding Gusterson, but I don't think the Hawks really want to ship him away. I think they want to keep him. I think the only way he does get sent out is if they absolutely get a deal that they absolutely just cannot refuse. Just a banger of a deal. I don't see that happening. So better get used to Gusterson playing on the Hawks and scoring power play goals. Speaking of offers that only Chiarelli would make, Jakubczak in the lineup for the Hawks in this one. Meanwhile, Brandon Manning, a healthy scratch for the Oilers. So the Hawks with a 1-goal lead played well for the rest of the first period until about 5 minutes left to go in the period where they decided to take about 4 straight penalties. Now, I thought a couple of those calls were maybe a little weak, but what are you going to do? Sometimes you get calls, sometimes you don't. And it happens. You just kind of have to fight through it. These calls don't go the Hawks' way. They have a couple 5-on-3 penalty kills that they have to kill off. They don't successfully do it. The Oilers score both their goals in this game in that stretch of special teams play, and the Hawks go into the second period down 2-1. Now, the second period was pretty back and forth, although the Hawks seemed to have the better of the play, or the majority of the good play, better opportunities. Cam Ward still had to make some really good saves, and he did, but it looked like for a while that Cam Talbot just might steal this game. So the Oilers would go into the third period still nursing that 2-1 lead. See what I did there? Yeah. But that's where it quickly unraveled for them. And it all started with the great fourth line shift with Hayden, Kunitz, and Kruger on the ice a little under 4 minutes into the third period. Hayden would bury a nice pass from Kruger, and that would kick off a 4-goal stretch in 3 minutes. Dylan Strome with an absolute snipe, which included a secondary assist from DeBrincat, which ends up being his 100th career NHL point. That's a nice little milestone for the little kitty cat. Then you have Patrick Kane with a nifty little steal of the puck from Klefbom and then putting it into the wide open net. And then Jakubczak scoring a goal one-timer from a nifty pass from Jonathan Toews. First game back for Jakubczak in Edmonton. That's got to feel great for him. And just like that, the Hawks, from being down 2-1, are now up 5-2, not even 7 minutes into the third period. Dominic Cahoon would add a power play goal, a nifty little athletic bat of the puck from a Seabrook pass that was 1.5 feet off the ice. It makes it 6-2, and that's how this game would end. Hawks win 6-2 in Edmonton, 5th straight victory, and now only 3 points out of a wild card spot, although teams in front of them do have some games in hand, so it's not entirely accurate, but they're close. Now, the Hawks, having had 2 8-game losing streaks and a 5-game losing streak this season, 51 points through 54 games, you shouldn't be in the mix for the playoffs at that point, or at this point in the season, with that record and everything that's gone on, not having Crawford. But with the weakened West, most of the West is very top-heavy this year. They somehow find themselves not that far away. I still don't think they're making the playoffs. I really don't. Like, the whole 3-point game thing with overtime points and overtime loss points and stuff like that, like, it makes it tough to jump a lot of teams. But a lot of teams are really struggling right now, and the Hawks are picking up steam. Is this just a streak that they're on right now, or is this the type of play that we can expect them continuing on for the rest of the season? Because to make the playoffs for the rest of the season, I have it calculated here, they basically have to go like 17-6-4 in their final 28 games here to get to around 90-ish points. And usually 90 points isn't enough to make the playoffs, but this year with how the West is, that just might be enough. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I really do. Leave those down in the comment section below. The Blackhawks have a day off before returning home to face the Canucks, another team above them in the wild card chase that it would be nice to get a win against. Like I said, though, I'm feeling quite under the weather, so I'm just gonna kind of cut it off here and get some sleep. So thank you so much for watching this episode of Hawks Recap. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate that as always. Most importantly, stay safe, make good decisions, don't get sick, and I'll see you next time.